What is your take on the Ukrainian general's request for Canada's 83,000 decommissioned rockets to meet urgent military needs?
It seems reasonable. I mean, this is the main thing with the Ukraine war funding, that there's been a large dissonance in what the Ukrainians need and want and request and what we give them. The Ukrainians need, ammo, right? Let's be frank. They need ammo. They're asking rockets, they need artillery shells, they need things to fire at the Russians. And we tend to give them big fancy things like artillery pieces, which I'm again not against. But, if you have 700 artillery pieces and you have ammunition that can only sustain 300 artillery pieces, you have 300 artillery pieces, right? So the Ukrainians want, ammunition now. So they always kind of always have. And this has been like sort of the fundamental failing of the West, in my view, on the Ukraine war is if we're going to, do this and support them, like we had to realize that this war was going to last more than 15 minutes. We have to say, okay, we can't just do one aid package to Ukraine and within a month they'll defeat the Russian army. No, we have to understand that this was going to be a longer war than just a month or two, and you're not going to just like snap your fingers and make the Russians go away. So in order to deter Russian military aggression, what we should have been doing and what we should be doing is increasing internal domestic production of the artillery and the ammunition that is effective on the battlefield. Like this is how the West should react if we were clever, right? But we have a bunch of, we believe in peace and that, like, and everyone's scared of what people say the military-industrial complex because it's a big buzzword, a big, very scary buzzword that if you do this, you'll be military-industrial complexing away and oh, no, 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 no. But we should have learned. Okay, what is effective in modern warfare when it comes to fighting the Russian army? And right, it's the ability, it's accurate artillery pieces. This is the most fundamental thing, right? So we have long range rockets and precision artillery. The ability to have a targeted artillery strike seems to be one of the most valuable war weapons we have. Okay, we've learned that. So in order to secure sort of our own domestic military security, we should have enough production to meet the demand of the effective ammunitions on the battlefield. This then would give us more leverage internationally, because if we have the ability to create high-valued ammunition, then countries are more inclined to come into our sphere of influence and enter into alliances with us because we would have the things they would need to fight a modern war. And we could then use our military production as a deterrent to bad actors to stop them from raging future wars, and of course, help our allies, most notably Ukraine, meet the demand for the amount of ammunition they need. So say you can make a number, right? If you have 700 artillery pieces, but the ammunition for 400, you have 400 artillery pieces, right? So increase the ammunition production instead of giving them more artillery pieces, because you still have sort of an ammunition supply problem where you need more ammunition. So the rate limiting step in the Ukraine war is ammunition, and we aren't really taking that as seriously as we should be taking it. Instead, we're just sending fancy things and more fancier equipment there, which again I'm not against. I'm in favor of long range rockets, but if you have a long range rocket system, they need rockets, right? This was like you need the rockets to be fired, right? It's nice to have the rocket launchers, but if they can't launch anything, what are they doing? So that's my thing is, yeah, it makes sense. And we should have a year ago, we should have been creating factories to pump out ammunition. And people always need ammunition for artillery pieces. There's always a way to sell it. Like this is a good money maker if you're just a pure like I don't care about the world, I just care about Canada and our economy. Yeah, okay, then it's a pretty good, easy thing to manufacture. We have the ability to do it, and countries should want ammunition produced in allied countries because you'd want to buy it from us rather than China or one of those countries.
But Western countries are really, really afraid of an escalation. What do you think about this? Because Russia, they are in alliance with China, with Iran, and basically all socialist countries.
Yeah, I mean, fear of escalation is foreign policy 101. And the problem with foreign policy 101 is it's detached from reality. This is university academic I'm in a room somewhere at York University talking about foreign policy that I've never stepped outside Canada or visited anyone on a battlefield. Like again, what escalation? Russia's in full scale war with Ukraine. How does this escalate? Is it going to be a super double war? Are they going to declare a second war on Ukraine? Like, is this what we're afraid of? And they've been pretty
Nuclear
clear that
war. Everyone is afraid of nuclear war. That's what I
everyone's
think.
afraid of nuclear war, but so are the Russians. Like the problem with giving into nuclear blackmail is it means that the Russians learn that nuclear blackmail works. I don't think the Russians are going to nuke the world if Ukraine gets, full ammunition stocks. Now, listen, should we send, thermonuclear warheads flying into Russia right now? No, that would be an escalation, right? If you have, US warplanes, just, sending missiles up to the Kremlin, okay, fine, that's an escalation. But the thought that providing ammunition to an ally under war is some sort of escalation is it's absolute insane defeatist thinking that we just can't survive by being scared of everything we do, right? Oh, escalation. Iran's afraid of escalation. They were just getting bombed by Pakistan. They don't care, right? It's just saber rattling. This fear of escalation is constantly disproven. Like I have a fear of lack of deterrence, right? If you want an escalation, you remove your deterrence. And the Russians have learned that, and the Chinese are now learning that the way you can take out Western deterrence is you just call them escalation and warmongers, and everyone gets so scared to push back that they go in. Like again, how does this escalate? Again, Russia's already at war with Ukraine. They've stated that they want to they want to destroy Ukraine and basically, destroy its capacity to defend itself, mass murder. And their stated goal here is essentially to wear down the West and drive Western influence out of Eastern Europe to make a point. Like this isn't about denazification or any sort of Russian, moral virtue, let's say. They're not doing this, despite what their propagandists say in the West. I mean, they don't say this in Russia, but what their West propaganda, oh, they're doing it to fight the global, this and that. No, they're not. They're pretty clear about what they're doing. And this absurd escalation fear we have when there's already a full-scale war. And if it's like, oh, if Russia's going to lose the war, they're just going to nuke the world anyway. Well then just give Russia the entire world then. Then the only solution there is either global thermonuclear war or everywhere is Russia. And eventually you're going to have to call the Russians bluff or just declare that everywhere is Russia or China or Iran to not escalate anything, right? When countries are hostile to your very existence, pushing back against them isn't escalation, it's deterrence.